What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Cage podcast, Friday edition. We'll be giving all of our official picks now. Also promise you guys that I'll come with 5 props. So I'll give you 5 free props. I'm ready to get into this card. Stacey, you down? You ready to get into it? I'm really excited for this main event. All right, so let's kick it off. We got Emily. How do you pronounce her name? Ducote? Not Ducote. Ducote?
Ducote.
Ducote.
Some shit like that.
I think it's Ducote.
Ducote?
Yeah, Ducote or Ducote. She's French, I think, right?
It's probably Ducote then,
Yeah. All right. So, anyway, that first fight with her and Jessica Penne, have you seen how the lines have flipped?
No, I didn't. What were they on Jessica at first?
I think they were a little bit on Jessica at first, and then now she's like a minus 150 for Emily.
Yep, on my book, 160.
Yeah, I'm still going to go. Wednesday I talked about it, that she has that knockout ability. I'm still going to go with Emily. Usually I'm going to take the fighter that, I do respect the ranking. I don't think in this division it's that deep, so I think anybody from 15 to 14 is always looking to be taken out. So I'm going to take Emily here by decision. I don't think Jessica's going to have the wrestling. And I think, what do I always say I look for in women's fighters, Stacey? Finish rate and output. Because those are the things that usually are going to win the fight when it comes to the judges. So I'm going to take Emily here by decision. She's going to have more volume. If she doesn't get wrestled, I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree there. I think Jessica's the vet here, obviously. I think she's like 38 now. But like we said, we've seen in the past few events, the first fight, usually the underdog prevails. And not just because, that's just some, mystical thing, but because usually these underdogs are these people that are, new, that are coming in, are just insane, and they're coming in with some skill and technique. You showed me her last knockout. Was that her last knockout? Yep. Where she knocked the girl out standing up? Yeah, I think that her stand-up is too much for Jessica. I think if Jessica wants to win this, she's going to need to take it on the ground and incorporate jiu-jitsu. But all fights start standing up, like you said. Give me the newcomer, Emily Ducote.
I just think that I think for output and finish rate for women, that is just massive for women that actually try to go in there and finish fights and not point. Also, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the MMA guru getting a lot of slander the other week for what he said about Max and Brian? You watch him, I know you do, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said that Brian Ortega had better footwork than Max Holloway. Now, and a lot of people got on him for that. I want to make this clear on this podcast so we don't get any slander for what we say. This is a gambling podcast. If you want to go to watch a fight breakdown or something, this is not. We are not coaches. We are not whatever. And I thought it was very interesting how much slander he got for that.
Yeah.
Even though he's kind of
he's just giving you a little
yeah, he's giving you advice, and I just don't want anybody to take this podcast that seriously. This is, if you're coming to this podcast, you're coming for gambling knowledge, all right? Not coming for fight breakdown IQ knowledge. If there's real videos out there for that, I just want to make that clear in the podcast. I thought that'd be something good, to touch on a little bit, just because there's so many of this. But not dwelling on that too long. Let's move on to the next one. I think me and you both had Emily by decision.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to take Emily by decision.
Now, I think this one could possibly, I don't know, we haven't talked, obviously, but I think this one both could be me and your underdog of the night. We got Stolfuz versus Dwight Grant. My feelings still staying with me. I still like Stolfuz. I still like him to wrestle him. I still like him to grind him out for a decision, or possibly even a submission. Maybe late second, third round. I don't know. I like I said, my gut's telling me Stolfuz. Obviously, Dwight Grant has that knockout power, but I'm think he's gonna avoid that, and I think he's gonna grind him out. So I'm gonna go with the first underdog of the night being Stolfuz. I'm gonna take the by the decision, not by sub, just because I'm not gonna. I don't think he's like a submission artist, so I think the only way he subs him is if Dwight Grant actually just tires out. So,
yeah,
I'm going to take him by decision.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, Dwight Grant's name is the Body Snatcher, but we haven't seen him snatch any bodies lately. Honestly,
That's what scares me though.
yeah, his output like kind of tires out though. But
Yeah.
like that's my issue with him. Like I just feel like he has the ability. It's just his output slows down. So
Maybe sprinkle a little straight on Dwight Grant by KO.
yeah,
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, what is? Because I mean, he's going to be the favorite, but I'd imagine that has to be plus odds for him to get a finish. But
Oh,
other
yeah.
than that, I'm not touching Dwight Grant.
Yeah, I think Dustin has more jiu-jitsu than Dwight. I mean, I think that he has enough to be dangerous down there. Yeah, I think I'm liking this underdog, and then I don't know about underdog of the night yet. Not yet.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't talked.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that
Right.
could be a potential one that I think me and you are both in agreement on, and we really like.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of the
I think
odds on
Dustin
this.
is definitely a live underdog. Getting him even here at plus 100 on my book. I also like the
Trust me,
over 1.5.
I think
Oh.
I know which underdog you're going for, and I'm going to say I highly disrespect it. If I think it's what it is. I highly disrespect it. If I think it's what it is. But yeah, I think we're both in agreement there. Like we said, Dwight Grant, I just cannot trust him for a full 3 rounds to
Yeah.
fight a clean fight. So that's why I'm gonna take Stolfuz. I think he's gonna be the more technical dude in there, and I think he's gonna get it out. Probably grinding it out. I don't.
If
think
anything, I like that over. Like I said, that over 1.5. I think that's.
I really like that.
good
I really
pick.
like that as well. I like that as well. All right, so moving on from that one, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Da-Un Jun. So if you want to start off this one, kind of just give your
Yeah, sure.
on it.
Dustin Jacoby versus Dalcha Jung. It's a great matchup. I think that the lines kind of show how close this matchup is.
I agree.
Yeah. I think Da-Un has some pretty good boxing. I think he has good physicality. He's pretty big. Dustin Jacoby, he's not as big as Da-Un, but I think he has a little bit more technicality. And that's,
Dustin Jacoby's thick.
yeah,
I mean, he's not.
100%.
He's a little, both of these guys are not small dudes.
Da-Un is like, what, 6'5", though? He's like...
Dustin's
tall
like
ass,
6'3",
like-
though.
Yeah? So, see, like I said,
Dustin, I'm pretty
it's
sure
a good
he's big. I'm
physicality
pretty
like,
sure he's
matchup.
big like that. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's a good matchup.
But I'm going to depend on Dustin Jacoby's kicking, and I think that his kicking and his just his striking in general should be enough to keep off Da-Un and keep him away from him. If he just pieces him up, I think he could potentially win this fight by decision. I'm going to say by decision right now. Obviously, he has that ability, but to knock out. But I'm not going to bank on it in this fight just because how close it is. And on my book, Da-Un is the favorite right now. Well, I mean it's close, but minus 125, minus 105.
Yeah, I have the same odds right now. Da-Un has seemed to flip to being the more favorited of the close pick'em.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly, literally what you just said, I like what the explanation. I think that Dustin Jacoby's kicks are going to be the main factor here. And I'm going to also drop my first prop of the night, Dustin Jacoby by decision. I don't think that he's going to finish Da-Un. I think if he does finish Da-Un, it's going to be what I said Wednesday. It's going to be like he's going to clip him coming in or something. But I don't think he's going to want to stand in the pocket and really bang with Da-Un. That's how you kind of get knocked out.
Exactly.
So I'm going to take it, like you said, he's going to keep him at distance with the kicks. He's going to be the more technical striker in there. He knows how to deal with any situation. If it goes to the ground, up against the gate, whatever, and he's going to get enough done for the judges. He'll probably take 2 rounds to 1. I could see it being a fight that's kind of 1-1 going into the third, and then Dustin Jacoby kind of just cruises from there and kind of picks him apart. So yeah, I'm gonna take Dustin Jacoby as well. Also drop the first prop of Dustin Jacoby by decision. And yeah, so I think that's a good bet from both of us. Like I said, when it comes to these fights that are very close, it really comes down to me is who's the more technical guy in there.
Yeah.
And where does I see people getting uncomfortable.
That's what I'm kind of
So-
going off of also.
100%. 100%. All right, next fight, we got Bill Algeo versus Herbert Burns fighting up a weight class. So Herbert Burns is fighting up against Bill Algeo. You want me to go on this one, or what?
Yeah. Start this one up.
All right. Well, I think me and you are both feeling kind of the same on this one. Me and you really, we see the potential in Burns.
Yeah.
We just don't see the dog in Burns.
Yeah.
I do not see the dog in Burns to have a war with somebody. Yeah. So for that reason, maybe alone, I'm gonna take Bill Algeo because I know Bill is tough. I know he will swing. I know he has an overall game essentially everywhere. And I don't think Burns is the most sound on his feet. I think he has some slick ground game, but I think he has that knockout power as well. But he's just not a very technical overall dude. And him fighting up a weight class, you see what that does to people. I don't think he's experienced enough or good enough to be changing weight classes right now, unless he's a natural featherweight, and that might be something that I just don't know. And he's been cutting down too much, and so we might see we could see a different Herbert Burns fighting in featherweight, but I'm not taking it for the first fight. I'm gonna stay away from those odds. They're a little close. I honestly like Bill as like a hammer for Saturday because under 200 at a guy that's fighting up, I love that.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different opponent. I think Bill was he was supposed to fight Billy Q. And I think Billy Q's levels above Herbert.
Yeah, way more
in terms of matchup,
harder matchup.
So I'm taking Bill. I'm gonna say this fight doesn't go the distance. I don't know how it will finish, but I like that bet. Fight to not go the distance on this fight.
No, I like that. The odds are. I mean, if you're looking at the over under, it's plus 100 for the over 2.5 on mine, but. Then it doesn't go the distance.
So plus 100 is over.
Yeah,
you said.
Yeah, over.
So they're thinking it could be a finish. Yeah.
Doesn't go the distance. Minus 140 for the no. For the prop. So. I
honestly think that the better might be the under because I think it might not make out of round 2.
I feel that. I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking, Chad. Honestly. You know me, I just do not like Herbert Burns that much. I've watched him fight a couple times, and he's just his brother is a very hard and very good fighter, but he just does not carry that gene. I don't think. Do I think
that's what I'm saying? The only way I could explain it was he doesn't have that dog in him.
Exactly,
like he doesn't have that fight that Burns does, or
it's kind of like Kamaru.
I can't trust
Usman and his brother Muhammad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Muhammad's not Kamaru. But he can fight in the UFC. But like you said, him moving up a weight class and going against a well-prepared Bill Algeo, I think Bill Algeo, his kickboxing is better than Herbert's. I think that they're going to strike with each other. And Algeo is going to be the one that quickly, gets the momentum throughout the fight, I think, and I think it's going to stay.
He's going to be the one that dictates it for sure. It's going to be up to Bill if it goes under or over.
Exactly. So give me Bill straight, like you said. I like him as I like the lock on the money line. I'm not betting Herbert Burns, and that's just not even because I don't like him. It's just because I genuinely think this is a good fight for Bill. Give me Bill straight.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. All right. Now let's get to the real fight, Stacey. We got Ricky Simone versus Jack Shore. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Gladly. So this is a great fight. Obviously, we got Jack Tank versus Ricky Simone. I think that Jack definitely is he's a future talent of this division and of the UFC. I definitely think that Jack is, like I said, I think he's talented. Where he's better at, I think, is the ground, and I think that's where he outclasses people. Especially if he gets on your back, then it's over. It's like in his favor.
It's a wrap.
I'm gonna slide with the underdog in this one. I'm gonna need Jack Shore to prove it to me that he can handle these dogs like Ricky Simone. Ricky is proven. He's proven in the UFC. He showed his capability with knockouts, submissions, and he has a little ground game himself. I just like I said, I think the power of Ricky Simone. I think his striking outclasses Jack Shore's. That's one of my biggest issues here. Is that I think Jack Shore just doesn't.
I think Jack Shore is going to surprise you. I think
he might, but I just think looking at his fights, he just does enough to win the striking. He doesn't really like show any like.
He doesn't dominate the striking. Like you said, it's not where his. It's not where his bread and butter is. It's not where he is best at.
Exactly. Ricky is just tough. Look, Ricky's tough, and
I would be a fool and not a very good, podcast co-host if I said that Ricky has no chance of winning this fight. I think he does have a chance of winning this fight. I'm not going to say that Jack Shore is an 100% lock, but I do think he's close to like a 80% lock for me. Like Jack Shore is one of the dudes that I see that's coming into the UFC that's just so well-rounded everywhere, and every time I see him get into the octagon, he gets better. So
it's 50-50 for me. That's what I'm going to say on that.
Ricky, like you said, he has fought in the way more experienced. He's fought in the better opponents. Now, can you read off to me who Ricky's fought again?
Yeah, sure.
Because I think there's something very glaring that's different about these guys to Ricky and Jack Shore. Like, the guys that Ricky has fought.
Yeah. I got it up, by the way. He has Rafael Sunkau, Brian Boom Keller, Gaetano Perello. I don't know who that is. Ray Borg, Rob Font, Hani Yaya, Uriah Faber. Didn't he fight Merab? Merab Davashi, yeah, the machine.
Okay, so yeah, those two, or that's what I wanted to hear. I think, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong on this.
Okay.
All of those guys that he has fought, like Merab is a stuff to take down or bust guy.
Okay.
Do you agree? Or do you think that Merab has a little bit of... Like, I think Merab dominates.
Merab's getting better.
If you can stop Merab's takedowns, then you probably are going to have a good chance of beating Merab. Yeah. So, what's getting me in this fight is that I think Jack Shore, even though he has fought, or Ricky has fought all the better opponents, I think Jack Shore might be the most well-rounded fighter that Ricky's had to fight. Even of all those names that you mentioned to me. A lot of those guys are kickboxers and they don't have a lot of ground game. I think Jack Shore, honestly, might be the most well-rounded of all of them. He's easily, I think me and you both agree, that he can be a top 10 fighter.
Yeah, but I just don't think his striking is there. That's my issue. And like I said, I could be proven wrong,
I think he's
but
gonna surprise you.
I don't know if he can take a real striker. I just don't see it.
We will see. So I'm gonna take Jack Shore and actually go by knockout round 3. So that's gonna prove your striking point wrong. And so I'm gonna take Jack Shore round 3 knockout.
Be careful, people. Be careful with that one. Be careful.
And hey, what if it hits?
Like I said, I think it's 50-50. I think that this fight, in my eyes, is 50-50. And
you realize it doesn't have to be a knock. I mean, granted, it doesn't have to be a knockout. It could be a TKO on the ground.
Yeah.
So it could be that. It could be that. So I'm gonna take Jack Shore by knockout. We mentioned Wednesday that I'm part of the JSA. I'm part of the Jack Shore Army. So I'm a little home biased on this one. I'm going heart over probably more head than what I should be doing. But it's because I've seen with my eyes what Jack Shore can do. So
I respect it. I respect it, Chad.
It's like that feeling you have, bro, when you see a fighter and you're like, that dude is special. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I can't. I'm not betting against him. So until he proves me wrong, and Ricky could really earn some respect from me. And so
I'm gonna stamp it.
Let's see how it goes.
I'm gonna say,
look,
Ricky,
we need to stamp it. We need to stamp it with how close our records are.
Way too close. We gotta start.
Way too close. Yeah. I'll tell the records for the main card because I mean we do be agreeing on a lot.
We do.
All right. So now for the final prelim of the night, we got Puna Soriano versus Dalcha.
It's a good fight.
Man, I was watching some Puna highlights last night, and man, he gets clipped coming in. He gets clipped coming in a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this fight not to go the distance. This fight hammered not to go the distance. I don't really like the over 1.5 because I feel like that first round could be a feeling out round. and then once you get into that half round, you're like, shit, can somebody just start throwing, and it gets really sketchy. So I would just hammer this fight not to go the distance. What can you look that up for me, Stacy? What is that on your book?
Minus 190.
Yeah, so that's probably better than taking Puna straight up or Dalcha straight up. I would hammer that as a minus 190 to not go the distance. But as my official pick, I'm going to take Puna here. I just feel like he's the more technical dude. And, I think he can get clipped coming in. That's why I'm saying hammer the not go the distance. But I think this is going to be a violent fight. And I'm going to probably take Puna by knockout. Knockout being the second prop I drop on the night.
Yeah,
Third, if you want to count the Jack Shore. I'm not telling you to place that bet, though, because I'm not very confident in that Jack Shore knockout.
I like that. Like you said, Puna gets hit. Dalcha, if you like power and if you're a fan of Dalcha, I would say maybe he's a good stab underdog, just throwing something.
He's a live dog just because anybody with that power should have some sort of chance.
Yeah, and I think all in all, Puna should win the fight. Just because I think he has the more technique between the two. But like you said, I like not going the distance also on this fight. I'm not going to touch this that much. I might throw like 1 unit on it, but I don't even know.
I don't know what that means for you, Mr. Ronnie Lawrence.
Here he goes. Look.
I don't know what that means for you. I'm not going to touch the fight. You'll have 4 bets to put on it.
Look. I'm probably not touching this fight. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not putting nothing. Like, the 225 is just too much for Puna, and
it's too
I
much
don't feel
for
like
Puna.
sweating.
I agree.
I'd rather just watch the fight and enjoy it and bet on other fights. You know,
bet not to go the distance. Bro, I'm telling you, I think that's going to be a violent fight. I do not think it goes 3 rounds.
I'm gonna stand Puna with the. Like you said, that over 1.5 is sketchy, but I'm going to take the over 1.5 just to make it through. But I don't even think it's going to really go the distance either, so give me that.
Yeah, I think there's a knockout maybe round 2. If it goes into the 3rd round,
or just a
that's
gassed
probably
out
not
round
good.
3, and then somebody just gets clipped.
Yeah. Usually when both guys are tired, though, I don't like it when it gets that 3rd round because it's like they're going to be so tentative to like open up to that big shot. Unless they're just brawling. Then
they just...
whatever. But, so you got Puna by, what you going to say, knockout by?
I'm going to just say Puna by... I'm going to just say Puna in the over 1.5 right now. That's all I'm going to say, that combination.
Cool. All right, moving on to the main. We have Miesha Tate versus Lauren Murphy to start.
I'll start up. I'll start this.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we got Cupcake versus Lauren Murphy. They both look good in their weigh-ins. What is this, the start of the main? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Lauren Murphy looked actually really good.
Oh, yeah, she looked great. She didn't look... they both looked about the same amount of good, I'd say, from that weigh-in. But I'm going to just go off of who's hungrier and who I think has enough skill to win. And... I think Miesha Tate might get it done here. I think that she's fought she's more hungry than Lauren Murphy. How old is Miesha? 35. Lauren is 38. Yeah,
38.
I can see a retirement potentially coming for Lauren.
I think that's a potential retire. I'm not sure. I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see it if she gets beat and like manhandled on the ground or something like that.
If she puts up a good fight, she might not. Then she might.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm gonna just edge. I'm gonna lean Miesha Tate here. I think Miesha is a more well-rounded, well-experienced fighter. She looked good in her weigh-in. I got no complaints. Give me Cupcake by decision.
Yeah, I like that a lot. One of the factors that I had when I was looking at these two fighters, I was like, what are they good at? And could Lauren potentially damage Miesha? I think she could, being like staying at range. But what do me and you always say when we talk about wrestling? You know, lower man wins, lower center of gravity wins. Miesha's going to land some deep shots on Lauren just because of how lanky and long she is.
Nobody mentions
so
that
I
wrestling
think
that much.
Yeah, so I think Miesha is going to get some deep shots in on Lauren, and I think she'll end up dragging her down and probably be able to hold her there for the majority. So I'm going to take Miesha as well by decision. I don't see a finish coming.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take Miesha by decision. That I like as a prop. Miesha by decision.
I like that.
All right, I want you to kick this one off for sure.
Okay. All right, so we got Hurricane Shane Burgos versus Charles Air Jourdain. It's a great matchup. This is another good matchup. Did some thinking on this fight. Earlier this week, I was heavy. I wouldn't say heavy. I was on Charles Jourdain.
I'd say you were more on him for the value.
Yeah, the
than
value
you were
is
for
very
the actual
good.
fight.
Yeah.
It should be a pick'em. This should be a
yeah.
pick'em.
It's much closer than I think the odds relay, but I think I'm leaning Shane Burgos here, and yeah, the reason I'm leaning Shane Burgos is because my heart is with Charles Jourdain. I completely think that Charles Jourdain has the skill. I think that he has everything he needs to excel in this division. But who do I think has a better boxing? Who do I think is more likely to build momentum and just keep pushing throughout the fight? Who do I think is hungrier? My issue is that I know Charles Jourdain is such a dog, and it just hurts me even saying this, and it hurts me going against my heart with this. I'm gonna take the Big Apple, Shane Burgos, and I'm gonna hold him. I'm gonna take him by either. I think I'm gonna take him by TKO. I think this fight is gonna end up getting finished. This hurts. This hurts to say. It definitely hurts to say and go against one of my top, I'd say, contender people. But I don't think this is a good matchup for him. I just don't think it is.
All right. So that was a lot to take in there, but but I have to tell you, Stacey, I agree. I agree.
I'm not sure.
That. So me and you were both, I think, leaning Charles heavy this fight, and you know, that fight just completely changed my mind when I rewatched it. And I don't like doing this for MMA math, but if he comes with 80% of this fight, then it's going to be a problem for Charles. Bro, that Josh Emmett Shane fight, he was taking bombs from Josh Emmett and just walking forward.
And still just walking him down.
Charles does not have that power.
He doesn't have that durability, I think.
Or the durability. You're right. Like that, and look, in that Edson fight, he just got clipped.
Yeah.
Like he literally just got clipped on the head.
Yeah,
it was like a flash knockout. It was an unlucky shot against Burgos. Like you said, man, I look on the scale. Charles looks small compared to Shane. Yeah. He does. Like Shane is carrying, like he has that muscle, but it is lean muscle. Like he is a very fit, in shape dude. I don't see Charles shooting for a takedown to try to get a submission on him. I see it being a stand-up fight. Unless Charles catches him with like a head kick or something crazy, I don't see him getting knocked down from Charles's punches, unless he gets, there's obviously the chance of getting clipped. But I think you're right. I think Shane has the better boxing. I've seen him be in more durable fights. I don't like one thing that you said is the Burgos by knockout. I think these two guys are two warriors, and I think this is actually going to possibly be fight of the night and go to decision. But I think Burgos edges out a unanimous decision.
The over-under is pick him. Minus 115.
I'd imagine, because it could be a finish. I do think you're right. If there is a finish coming in this fight, I think it comes from Shane. I don't think it comes from Charles. So it's either going to be Charles by decision, by a split, or it's going to be Shane by knockout or unanimous decision. Those are the possibilities that I'm seeing in my head play out. So I like it. We were both on Charles Wednesday. We have not talked, and that's why this is very surprising. We have not talked. So yeah, I'm flipping over with you. I'm taking Shane Burgos to have the better boxing. I'm not sure it's going to be the kickboxing, but I think the pressure and the boxing of Shane is going to be just a little too much for Charles. It's not a good matchup for Charles, like you said. If it was a kickboxer that didn't have a lot of power or something, all right, but he's going to have to really see him off the hands. He's going to probably take a couple body shots. He's going to have to he's gonna have to
All
get
while
out
getting
of
walked
those
down.
sticky situations. Exactly, he's gonna have to avoid that pressure. And Shane is a very good pressure fighter. So let's see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping, like you said, I'm going head over heart here. I went with Jack Shaw. I went with heart over head. I love Charles. He's my boy. Shane is also my boy though, and I just think that this is fight of the night potential, and I got to go with the better boxer. So who we got next on this?
Oh, we got Sue Madarji versus Matt Danger Schnell.
You want to go on this?
I'll kick it off. I like I said Wednesday, I'm gonna say the same thing today. I'm not gonna go too even long on this explanation. I'm gonna take Sue Madarji here. And it's purely based off of the fact that I think that he is more. I think that he knows how to win a fight. He always has the KO capability. I think that Matt Schnell is a good fighter. I think he's a little older, but I just don't think that Schnell is just. He's reached his point where he's plateaued, I would say. And he's more of a journeyman, I'm going to be honest with you, in this division. Sue Madarji is the young up-and-comer, Tibetan Eagle. Like I said, he has KO capability. Where is he fighting now? Out of?
I don't know.
He's fighting Inbo Fight Club, whatever that is. He's, like we said, he's one of the few Chinese fighters that we would say is actually, that knows the system. You know what I'm saying?
That gets how to win the fights in UFC rules.
Give me Sue Madarji by. I think I'm gonna take him by potential finish. I think that Matt Schnell has the ability to get finished.
Well, that's what I said. I don't think it might. I might not make it out of round one either way.
Yeah.
I don't like the line on this fight. I don't like the line on this fight. I'll tell you that. Like I do like the Tibetan Eagle, and I think he should be the favorite. How much is he? Minus 300?
270.
Close.
Yeah, close.
They're making you pay for that hit. So, I think maybe sprinkling a little on Matt Schnell, possibly to finish in the first round, wouldn't be bad. But outside of that, I mean, you're right, man. He's plateaued. I think they're trying to set your boy up so that he fights somebody and can beat somebody with name recognition. Yeah. But this isn't the same Matt Schnell of 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So you're right. I'm gonna take the Tibetan Eagle. I'm gonna go with a finish here. I'm gonna say he wins by knockout. But I don't think it goes past.
It doesn't go the distance. It's minus 150.
Oh, I love that. So I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I would hammer. I'm gonna take the Eagle here by knockout. Maybe round two. Round two, I honestly could see it happening really quick in round one because I think Matt Schnell puts himself in a lot of wild situations early. Me too. So I like that, and I'm gonna go with the Eagle, like I said.
Cool.
This next fight is interesting to me. I'm really flip flopping back and forth, and I'm still was even like.
All right, now your emotions are just everywhere.
The leech look ready.
He does.
The leech look ready.
He does.
You know what scares me about Muslim? He he got up there at weigh-ins like he didn't have to cut weight. He looked
how he
so
fights.
chill.
This is how he walks around. I mean.
Yeah, bro. He's just like, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you, like whatever, bro.
Well, I mean, apparently he's been ready for the leech since I forgot how long. He said 2 years ago he was already mentally preparing himself for the leech. Like,
oh god,
he knew he was gonna fight leech eventually. Like, wait.
All right. Well, with that being said, I like the underdog stab on the leech here. I do. I don't. I think the leech is a good fighter.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Muslim Sahlikov started thinking about Li Jinglinag matchup years before he came to MMA.
So this is like his. Why is this like his?
I don't know. It says, when I fought in China before I came to the UFC, many fans in China asked me, "You want to fight with Li Jinglinag now? This guy fights in the UFC." he said, I fight in China. I'm not an MMA fighter. I'm just a kickboxing fighter. But now I'm in the UFC and I'm an MMA fighter. After my first win in the UFC, I called out Jinglinag. Said I want to fight him because a lot of people in China would like to see this fight. I'm very excited for this, and I think a lot of fans are waiting for this.
Okay, I mean, there was a lot of things I was telling there. I mean, he openly acknowledged that he's not an MMA fighter. He's a
This is before he got in the UFC that he said that. So once he got in the UFC, all right, now I'm an MMA fighter.
But that's still, no, I agree. I'm just saying that you can easily tell where his that he does not want to go to the ground. I think Leach will take him to the ground. I like the stab at the underdog here. I'm gonna decide with the Leach. I'm gonna go with Lingjang. Leon, on this, and it's going to have to be by taking him down. I don't want him to stand with the king of kung fu. I don't. I think those kicks are going to be way too much. I'm gonna decide. And I usually don't like doing this because I just try to stay away from the takedown or bust. But I do think he has the power to either maybe like make Muslim respect him a little bit on the feet by either catching him one time and just make him a little tentative. I know you're like this is a 50-50 for me. So don't want you to hold me too hard on this on the next show if I'm wrong. Like unlike the Jack Shore, I do want you to hold me to that. But this I'm gonna take a stab at an underdog here with the Leach just because I like the value and I think he honestly can do it. I think he's a more experienced dude in the UFC. He's fought more actively and more recently and better fighters, so I'm gonna go with the Leach.
I like that, man. I can't argue with it. I like the Leach. I like how he's looking in this build up to this fight. I think that he's coming with the right attitude. He looked good in the weigh-ins. He's just going to have to come and fight. I think I'm going to lean Muslim Sahlikov here, King of Kung Fu, because I just think he's a proven kickboxer, and I think that Leach is going to want to strike with him and stand up. And I just think that
that'd be the worst fear for me. That'd be a fear.
I think it may be a little too late that he decides to wrestle or go to the ground. Maybe I could be wrong, but Leach can obviously catch him with one big.
He needs a game plan. If he doesn't come in without a game plan, he's going to be in trouble. I think that's.
And like I said, Muslim is a proven kickboxer. So, and we see what kickboxers do in the UFC and how hard it is to take them down.
All fights start standing.
Give me Muslim.
All fights start standing.
I think Lee's tough enough to take his shots, but if Muslim finds a shot, he could end it. Give me Muslim. Just give me Muslim by money line.
I like that bet. Like I said, I'm kind of 50-50 on this. I just think that if Leach does decide to grapple, he has the advantage there.
Yeah.
And
wrestling.
I'm not sure how good Muslim's takedown defense is. I haven't seen him fight in a while. I like to see him be tested by a top 15 guy, and if he keeps it standing, Muslim probably gets the win done. But I'm going to say that Leach tries to grapple him. So I'm going to take him by decision. You going to throw anything there? Or you just going to take Muslim by decision?
I can't pick a method right now of victory. I'm gonna just say Muslim. I'm gonna just say Muslim straight right now. So decision.
Find out in the Patreon, people. Find out in the Patreon.
Then you'll
decision. See. Yep. All right, so co-main, and then I'll let you kick off the main event. We got Michelle Waterson Gomez versus Amanda Lemos. I hate the odds on this one again. I never think that women should be these, like, especially when they're two, like, when it's supposed to be an even matchup, when there's matchmakers put these two together, man. Like, these aren't, like, some people that are just like, hey, we want to see these guys fight. I don't think Lemos is a minus 310. I think she should be probably minus 2. If I had to make her a favorite, like, in a reasonable way, I'd probably put her at, like, 215, 220, somewhere around there. 315 is too much. So I'm going to say take a stab at Waterson if you're going to bet her straight. My official pick for the fight, though, is going to be Lemos by submission. I think I called that Wednesday. I think I'm going to drop that as my fourth prop right now. I'm going to take Lemos by submission and probably round two submission for Lemos.
I like that. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, too. Karate Hottie looked good weighing in. She looked good. She built some muscle. She has the technique in her striking to be competitive. But I think Amanda Lemos is a little more dangerous. She has a little more lethality to her punches and her just striking.
She's a physical specimen for this division.
And I've seen her many times.
And that's what I was saying on the weigh-in. That's what I was saying on the weigh-ins is that she struggles cutting weight to this. But if she can make weight, it's a problem because she's about to bulk up to like 125, probably somewhere around there. Yeah, not 2. 125, somewhere around there. She's going to be in the 120s for sure. I don't know if Karate Hottie will even get up.
No, she's where she is. She's probably where she is now.
Yeah, she's probably around She's probably going to be around 118, 119 by fight time. I think Lemos is going to get above that. Those Brazilians, they know how to put on and cut weight.
They're just going. I think she's just going to be a lot bigger than Karate Hottie in there, and I think especially if it gets on the ground, I think Lemos is very hot for a sub. I think I'm gonna take Lemos by submission in this fight. I just think Karate's going.
All right, so we going with the same.
She's going to piece her up, I think, in the beginning of the fight. Not piece her up, but I think she's going to try to point and try to get points in the beginning of the fight. And then Amanda's momentum and just physicality is just going to start building on her. And especially if Amanda grapples,
just take over.
But like you said, I don't think Amanda is minus 315. That's just too heavy.
Yeah, because I mean, you take her minus 315 on one of your parlays, and then you start. What if Karate comes in and hits her with a 1-2 and stuns her, and then you're like, oh shit, this is going to be a back and forth women's fight. Why'd I do this? So I'm gonna take the submission prop as my 4th prop, and you guys will get the 5th submission prop in the next fight. Hint on who that's going to be. But yeah, I think we're both in agreement of Lemos by submission. Main card time. Main event time. Main event time, not main card. What you thinking?
You start this. You start this one.
Okay. Listening to both guys talk, I didn't like it. I didn't like how I felt like this was more of a forced fight than a wanted fight. I didn't like how it felt kind of for both guys said that they had major respect for each other and that it was more of a the fight that needed to happen more than the fight that they actually wanted to happen. Because I think they're good friends outside the octagon. But for that reason alone, I think there is going to be some hesitancy on both sides. And that's going to lead to grappling and clinch exchanges. And you know who I think is going to win those. Me and you were both T-City. Triangle City, baby. And so, yeah, and he was talking about getting back to his roots on the ground. I don't think he wanted to hurt Yair because they're friends, like I said. And remember kind of what Khabib did to Gaethje? I'm not saying it'll be in that fashion or that way. I'm just saying that he didn't want to damage him. When he knew he could submit him and not hurt him, I think he's going to do that. I'm going to take T-City here to be able to stand with Yair. I have to imagine if these two are friendly, they've sparred a couple times, right? You'd have to think so. So I think T-City knows that he can stand with Yair a little bit, not in the terms of, 5 rounds of standing. But I think that he can hold his own in the exchanges and Yair won't dominate the exchanges. And if T-City says what he says and actually means it, he should have no problem with Yair on the ground. He should easily take him down, and he should submit him within the first 4 rounds, I'm thinking. So I'm taking Brian Ortega by submission as my final prop, and I'm going to lock that in as my official pick. I was leaning Yair Wednesday off the stand-up. After watching both of them talk about each other and looking how composed T-City is and how he said it was a reality check for him, I think he was the closest one to beating Volk. I still think he's going to be the closest one to beat Volk. I don't think Yair is even on the same level as Volk. So I'm going to take T-City here to possibly get that second title shot again.
I like that. I like that, man. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was on the Yair Wednesday, like you said, just purely off striking.
We both like the value,
Oh, yeah.
I think, on
Plus
Yair.
140.
The striking and the value. But I just didn't like how in the interviews it just didn't seem like neither of them really wanted the fight. It was like he's 2, I'm 3. We're both coming off a loss. It makes sense, but it's not like I asked for this fight. I didn't want this fight. So
Not
I was
hungry
just like,
enough.
nah.
Or not hungry for the fight.
Not really hungry to fight
yeah,
each
yeah.
other enough. Like I think Brian would have rather fought Max. I think Yair would have rather fought Max again. Both of those guys would have rather fought Max again to get to the title shot.
And that's an issue. And
so
I'm going to be honest, I've been thinking about this fight also. And, I'm taking T-City by submission. I think that T-City's probably going to end up... I think Yair's going to come strong, and then T-City's going to end up getting on the ground or in a grappling exchange. And I think that is just going to go downhill for Yair from there. And then he's going to be too worried about the ground to be worried about anything else. And then potentially submission. I also think T-City has enough striking to maybe make it competitive.
well, I'm dropping that prop because in any Brian Ortega fight, I think the by submission.
I genuinely think that Brian is going to get a submission, especially in 5 rounds. I think that I don't think Yair is some type of tough dude to submit.
That's what, bro. I think he's gonna have a Gracie in his corner, going, "This guy's a kickboxer. What the hell are you doing, bro? What are you doing?" And he's gonna just be like, "You know what? You're right. I'm gonna get pissed off. I'm gonna take him
Because if he
down, and
puts
he's not
him
gonna be
in
able to
that
get up."
same guillotine that he got Vulcan, Yair's not surviving that. You get what I'm saying?
And that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. He was talking about that guillotine in his press conference and was like, "Man, if I would have just trained my jiu-jitsu, he ain't getting out of that. No one's getting out of that from T-City. No one." And that's what honestly made it so impressive of Volk fighting out of that, and everybody was so shocked. Like, damn, Brian Ortega just gave up a guillotine. I think he's right. I think if he would work and polish every part of his game and not go and work on his striking as much, because I think he has all the talent, but I think striking almost comes more with experience from what I've seen. Getting into the octagon, you can hit bags and stuff all you want, but you need that real experience, and that's why sometimes with those quick flash knockouts, I'm like, I liked it, but did I see you grow much as a striker? Remember kind of how I was with Jeremiah Wells? I wanted to see more technique and more than power put in. But yeah, I like that. I think me and you were both on Yair, mainly because of that value to start, and that we say all fights start standing, and is T-City going to shoot for those takedowns? But from what he said during the week, I liked what he said. I think that he looked calm, he looked prepared. So I think we're going to get a better Brian Ortega that's kind of going back to his roots of jiu-jitsu, of what got him up to the highest levels of the featherweight division. So you got anything else for this, or are you good?
Nothing for this card. Everybody, please like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody watching, but if you could just please touch that like button and just show us some love for putting in this work. We'd greatly appreciate it, and it entice us to put more out. Be more active. So, but we
will always be putting more out. But if you guys ever want more, we need those likes to let you guys know
exactly
that we want
give us
more.
something for doing this, please.
Don't do 2 weeks. Yep. All right, so what I do want to go over one more thing. So since we have been doing this, we need to kind of keep track of these fights because they're starting to become very few, because we don't talk, but your record since you've been doing this is 41-16 and mine is 42-15. So what fights are we disagreeing on?
We're disagreeing.
Because those could be
I know
the Jack Shore.
Leach.
Leach.
I think that's about it.
Because we flipped the Shane.
We both did Shane, and we both flipped to T-City.
All right, so Jack Shore and Leach, those are the 2 fights to be watching for our records. Maybe they'll even up, maybe they won't. It's just insanely that it's kind of those records are that even when we don't talk about it. That's including
when we went to Vegas. So
yes, that is including our Vegas picks as well. So, all right, well, that's it for this episode of Friday's podcast. Lock it in. Make sure you go over to the Patreon if you want the full picks. You can get literally 60 bets for $25. You get both me and Stacy's picks for $25, and we give you every over/under, we give you every winner, we give you our props. You can literally make an
This
entire.
this is
That's
making
a gambling paradise.
parlay.
It's a
This
gambling
is putting
paradise.
locks in, putting bets in with some money, just to make you some money, and don't even have to think about it.
Yep. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like he said, like and subscribe. And we will be back Wednesday with a recap of this card and kind of moving on to the next card to getting ready. What is the next card, Stacey? What is the...
Yeah.
You look that up for me real quick?
Blades versus Aspinall. My boy Chris Curtis coming back.
All right, so that's the London card. That's the London card. That's the London card. All right, so yeah, we will be back Wednesday to preview what happened this past week and then start with the London card. So... looking forward to seeing you guys back Wednesday. Appreciate
Peace.
y'all tuning in. Peace. I'm not happy at you for this whole Jack Short
You gotta
thing.
be at odds with some stuff, you know? We have to.